If your feet stay rough, no matter how much cream you keep putting on them, the problem usually isn't that your skin just needs more moisture. A lot of the time, that rough, thick foot skin is holding on to buildup. So basic moisturizers just sit on top and never really make the kind of difference that people are hoping for. When that happens, you end up stuck in that cycle where your feet feel a little softer for a minute, but the roughness keeps coming right back. In today's formulation, we're making a Papain Urea Cream designed to do more than just moisturize. It's built to help soften that thick, stubborn foot skin while giving you the kind of rich, creamy texture that people actually want to use consistently. A lot of rough foot creams are built around one idea only: add moisture and hope for the best. And that sounds fine until you're dealing with skin that's not just dry, but also thick, built up, and hanging on to that rough outer layer. At that point, a basic cream can feel nice going on, but it's not always doing enough to help that stubborn texture let go. That's why foot care gets so frustrating for so many people, because they think they have a moisture problem when a lot of the time they're dealing with a texture problem too. And when you treat thick, rough foot skin like it's only dry, you usually end up in that same disappointing cycle. The cream goes on, the skin feels softer for a little while, and then by the next day or two, the roughness still feels like it's sitting right there. That's when people start layering product after product, thinking that they have not found the right one yet. But sometimes the issue is not that the product is too weak. It's that the formula is only addressing moisture without helping that stubborn buildup sitting on top. So that's what this formula is designed to do differently. This Papain Urea Cream is built to give you the rich, cushioned feel of a true cream while also supporting the softening and smoothing of rough, thick foot skin. Urea helps drive that softening side of the formula. Papain brings in exfoliating support, and the structure of the cream is designed to feel elegant instead of draggy or waxy. So if you want a foot treatment that feels good to use and is actually built with the problem in mind, that's what we're making here today. Now that we've set the problem up, let's go make the formula that's meant to actually address it. This isn't just about throwing urea into a cream and calling it a day. We're building a true foot treatment cream that's designed to soften that rough, thick skin, support gentle exfoliation, and still feel rich and elegant when it goes on. Let's move over here to the lab bench and I'll walk you through exactly how I built this Papain Urea Cream and why each part of the formula is there. Okay, as I said, today we are making a Papain Urea Cream, and this formula is built for rough, thick foot skin that needs more than just a basic moisturizer. As we always do when we're making an emulsion, we're going to be starting off with our water phase. In this beaker, we have some distilled water, to which I have already set aside and reserved a small portion of it. I'm going to put this off to the side for later. This reserved water is going to be used during the cool down for that Papain. So I'm accounting for that right from the beginning instead of trying to figure it out later. So I'm going to set that off to the side with the Papain. So then the remaining distilled water is going to be in your main vessel here, and that gives us the base for the rest of the water phase. So next in, we're going to be putting glycerin and also some butylene glycol. And both of these are humectants, so they help support moisture in the skin, but they also help the formula feel more comfortable and work as part of the overall hurdle system. So glycerin in. You guys have heard me mention hurdle technology. That's more of an advanced term and procedure or method, if you will. And next in is our butylene glycol. Then we have some EDTA, and this is our chelator. It helps support stability and preservation by tying up trace metals that can interfere with the formula over time. After that, we have sodium citrate as well as some citric acid, and these work together as a small buffer system to help support the pH range that we want for this formula. So first in is the sodium citrate, followed by the citric acid. And then we're going to be using some DL-panthenol, which is here for skin conditioning. We also have some allantoin, which brings in some soothing support. In a treatment style foot cream like this, that makes a lot of sense. Once all of those ingredients are in, you give that a real good mix, and we're going to pop this on top of our hot plate just until everything that needs to be properly dissolved is fully uniform. Okay, once all your powders have dissolved in your water phase, then the urea goes in last. And that part matters because urea is one of the key ingredients in this formula, but it also is heat sensitive. So you don't want to just throw it in right in the beginning and let it sit there cooking while everything else catches up to that temperature. I want the rest of the water phase ready first, and then I'm going to add the urea and mix until it's fully dissolved. So let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to be adding the urea and just keep mixing until that's fully dissolved. All right, let's just go ahead and set aside phase A water, and we can start with phase B. So we're going to be working with glycerol stearate and PEG 100 stearate first, also known as Lotion Pro 165. This is our primary emulsifier, and this is what's going to help us build a true cream structure instead of something that's thin and underbuilt. So we'll get that in first. Then we're going to have cetyl alcohol as well as cetyl alcohol. And this is that dual fatty alcohol backbone that gives the cream body, cushion, elegance, and a much better slip. So cetyl alcohol, cetyl alcohol. For the oil portion, I am going to be using metafoam seed oil, and I like it here because it gives us an emollient oil with better oxidative stability than some of the more fragile oils that people reach for automatically. That's metafoam seed oil. Got an excellent shelf life. If you wanted to sub this out for jojoba, that would also be a really good substitute. It has a really wonderful shelf life as well. Then we move into our cascading esters. The first up is going to be isoamyl laurate, which gives us that lighter, faster spreading slip. Then we have octyldodecanol, which helps round the formula out with more cushion and anti-drag support. And we also have some caprylic capric triglyceride, which brings in a smooth, mid-weight emollient feel. And this layering matters because I don't just want this cream to feel rich. I want it to feel rich without becoming waxy, sticky, or draggy on the skin. Then we have some dimethicone, which helps improve the glide and gives the cream a smoother, more elegant rub in. It also helps with the soaping effect that you can sometimes experience with Lotion Pro 165. And then, of course, we have some vitamin E, and this is here as an antioxidant support and part of the finished product story. Give that all a nice stir and pop that on top of your hot plate. Okay, I've pulled phase B off of my hot plate, and now we are ready to incorporate phase B into phase A. I'm going to just add it in slowly, and then I am going to homogenize for a few seconds till the emulsion comes together. And then after that, I'm going to put that on the overhead stand mixer here and keep mixing that on low while the batch cools down. So let's go ahead and start adding phase B into phase A. All right, let's get in there with our homogenizer. Okay, once you have formed a nice silky emulsion with your homogenizer, go ahead and switch to your overhead stirrer. And this is going to help bring down the emulsion so that we can continue on with our phase C. But in the meantime, here is that water that I held back from the beginning. So I'm going to pre-wet and disperse the papain powder until it's a smooth slurry. And then I'm going to add that slurry into the batch with the mixing. So let's go ahead and get that papain added into this water. We'll make that slurry. This step is important because papain is not something that I just want to dump in when it's dry and hope that it works itself out. I want a nice, clean, more controlled incorporation. The papain is here to support the exfoliating side of the formula. So while the urea helps to soften that rough, thick foot skin, the papain is going to help support the smoothing side of the treatment. So just keep on mixing that until everything is dissolved nicely. We don't want any gritty powders. You will notice that there is a slight odor to papain powder. It does not come through in the final product, especially if you're going to scent your product. I don't with the foot care treatment products that I'm making. I don't scent them. I don't really feel a need to do that. It's really not doing anything. I let the product speak for itself. So like I said, once you have everything fully dissolved, there's no more grit or particles floating around, you can go ahead and start adding that slurry in. Just let this continue cooling down for a few more minutes, and then we can add our final 2 ingredients. Okay, let's move into phase C. The first one is going to be Liquid Germall Plus, our preservative, and this goes in during the cool down because I need this to stay within its temperature limits. So let's go ahead and add Liquid Germall Plus, our preservative. And then we finish everything off with some bisabolol, which adds another soothing element to help round out the formula that is definitely more treatment focused now. Give that another couple of minutes of mixing, then we're going to check the pH. I've gone ahead and made a 10% slurry here with some distilled water and some of the product, and we're going to just go ahead and check our pH now and make whatever adjustments we need to. Remember, urea is happiest at around 6 pH. Unlike the last formula that I put out, this does not have gluconolactone in it, so it's not going to drag that pH down like it did with that heel cream. Well, let's just check and see where we're at. All right, we have landed at about a 5.69, and I'm not going to make any further adjustments. I'm just going to leave this the way that it is. This is fine. So we're going to go ahead and just pour this into our container, and we're going to allow this to sit overnight like we always do. And I'll bring you guys back tomorrow. It'll just be a few seconds though. It's the next day. Let's take a look at our cream that we made. Here's the finished Papain Urea Cream. It's not thick or waxy. You can see that it's a true cream texture, rich and smooth, cushiony. Spreads nicely across the skin without looking heavy or feeling draggy. That's exactly what I wanted for a treatment style foot cream like this. Because if something feels miserable to use, people only, they usually don't stay consistent with it. So this gives you that richer foot care feel while still being built with the ingredients that actually support the job that we want this formula to do. It feels incredible. Put this on anytime that you need a little bit extra with your foot care. And as always, we finish off the video asking, what did we learn today? A strong formula isn't just about what you put in it, it's also about when you add the things, how you handle them, and whether the whole system actually makes sense together. That's where a lot of products go sideways, not because of the ingredient list, looking bad on paper, but because the formula wasn't built with enough intention from start to finish. When you get that part right, the final product usually feels better, it behaves better, and makes a whole lot more sense. If you enjoyed this formulation, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with someone who you think will benefit from it. The written tutorial and full procedure are available up on my Patreon. Thanks for hanging out with me today at Creation Station, and I'll see you in the next formulation. If you're a YouTube channel member, the written formula and instructions are waiting for you in the description box. If you're not a member, you can also get this formula along with more than 100 others and all future releases by joining my Patreon, or you can pick it up individually in my Etsy shop. All the links are below. Choose what's right for you.